Grace and peace. Welcome to Find the Intersection. My name is Paul Dezay, and Happy New Year. Today is Tuesday, January 1st, and we begin a new year, and I'm glad that we're on the journey together. Today's passage is Ephesians 3, 1-12. Ephesians 3, 1-12. If you haven't read it, go check it out, read it in a couple translations, and then come back and check out some of the things that stood out to me in this passage. Hey, welcome back. All right, so let's get into it. Ephesians 3, 1-12. Let's first talk about the context. This passage, Paul, the Apostle Paul, is writing to the church in Ephesus, very influential city. The church is growing, and Paul has some words of wisdom to share with this church. So Paul is writing to the church in Ephesus. And one of the things that he said, and this stood out, is the word mystery. And he shared it 3 times in that passage in the first 12 verses in the 3rd chapter. And so he wants us to understand that the word mystery is important. And the mystery isn't necessarily like a puzzle to be solved. It's more like a treasure to be revealed. And I think that word is important for us to recognize that this is a big deal. And this mystery has been withheld until this very time. And Paul has been given the opportunity to share it. So the mystery itself, that the treasure to be revealed, is that the Gentiles are included in the family of God. They're heirs into this great story that has been going on since Genesis chapter 12 about Abraham and his family and how they are called to be a light to the Gentiles. That was part of their mission, to be set apart. And now, through Jesus Christ, the Gentiles are included, and they're a part of the church. So it's very important that we get that message of inclusion that is a part of the mystery. And it's a big deal that really everyone now is included. And so for all the misfits out there, I consider myself a misfit, you're included into this. The gospel is for you. And that word gospel stood out to me too, is because Paul sees that this good news is about this inclusion, that Jesus died on the cross and the resurrection. This good news should be shared, that everybody's in. The Gentiles are now included, and Paul, a part of his mission is to share the good news. And so I have to, as I reflect on these passages, that this gospel, this good news, is for everyone, and I have a part to play in the sharing of the gospel, this good news, that everybody has been invited. And it reminds me of the phrase that we use at our church, everyone is welcome, nobody is perfect, and anything is possible. So those are 3 things that stood out to me. I'm very curious to see what stood out to you. So in the comments, if you would share your thoughts. And it's amazing how my thoughts will be different than your thoughts, and your thoughts will be different than someone else. And if we truly are a community journeying through the scriptures, we're going to learn from one another. But the key part is to share your thoughts in the comments. And there's so much in this passage to talk about. So let's learn from each other. I'll be back tomorrow as we get into the Old Testament passage. Take care, everybody. Grace and peace.